While everyone's talking about these crazy hunter gauntlets, which, let's be real, are crazy, turns out the Secant Filaments are actually probably my new favorite exotic in the Witch Queen.
Literally the only reason she's fucking alive is because I gave her a buff at the beginning that like doubled her health.
Devour on command with Void 3.0. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. So what does it do? Well, when you're on an Empowering Rift on a Void subclass, you pop that rift, it grants Devour for free, and it gives all your weapons overload, which isn't really going to affect Crucible all that much, but secret perk, get ready for this, it also extends your maximum Devour length. With using Echo of Persistence, which you will always want to be using here, it takes your maximum Devour from 17 seconds to 22. That's an extra 5 seconds for you guys who don't do math. That also seems to make it so each kill adds more time to the timer. That's what it feels like, at least. So every time you pop a rift, you immediately are granted 17 seconds of Devour with Echo of Persistence. Again, don't take off Echo of Persistence. It just doesn't make sense. Don't do it. Now, 17 seconds is plenty of time to keep getting kills, which keep adding more and more time to your timer. You're going to be hitting your max Devour length very often. It's not that hard. Only like 2 kills, really, and you'll usually be there. Plus, it's an Empowering Rift. So you're getting bonus damage. You can 2-tap with a lot of high-impact guns like DMT or a high-impact hand cannon, or get very, very easy 3-taps with your Palindrome or other 140 hand cannon. Not to mention the absolutely nasty body shots with high-impact snipers that you just saw right there. Now, because the boots grant you Devour, you actually have a lot of freedom with what you want to play here. Like supers, choose whatever you want, really. I'm still a fan of Cataclysm. You do need to be using your Empowering Rift, but for your aspects, this pairs very nicely with Child of the Old Gods. Keep in mind, on a Healing Rift, it gives you ability energy, but on an Empowering Rift, it gives you some health back. It's not a lot of health, but it's still some health. Plus, you're debuffing a target while you're in an Empowering Rift, while you have Devour active. They just buffed Child of the Old Gods, so it's better at finding targets. I also pair it with Feed the Void, which is the normal Devour, for 2 reasons. One, I like being able to proc Devour in multiple ways, using your grenade, melee, or super, but also it gives you an extra fragment slot over something like Chaos Accelerant. But if you want to use Chaos Accelerant and maybe some supercharged Axion bolts, it's not a bad idea. Or even Vortex grenades. Personally, I like scatter grenades for the instant burst of damage. Once you kind of get good with them, they're very powerful. As for fragments, like I said, Echo of Persistence. If you're using scatter grenades, I would never recommend taking off Echo of Undermining. But if you're using something like an Axion Bolt, you don't really need that. I like Echo of Leeching for even more health and some bonus resistance. Domineering, even though I'm not running any suppressing stuff, I like the extra discipline. And if you're not going to run Undermining, I might even suggest running Echo of Starvation for even more Devour orbs. But honestly, even things like Remnants are so powerful. Same with Dilation. You can use whatever you want, really. Play the way you want to play. Besides that, all I really recommend is running 2 utility kickstart mods on your stasis class item and maximum recovery for maximum rift uptime. Now, what's fun about stasis on Warlock is that you can set it up so your super, grenade, melee, and rift, everything can freeze someone instantly. And now you can do something very similar on Voidwalker, where you can have every single one of your abilities proc Devour. And once you get the hang of it, it's pretty powerful. Now, just to answer some questions about this exotic. When you pop the rift, it does instantly heal you to full health. With an asterisk, kind of. So it will only heal you and give you Devour if you don't have Devour active. It won't even add to the timer if you already have Devour active. Meaning if you pop the rift with even 2 seconds or 1 second left on your Devour clock, nothing will change. And you'll just lose Devour. So that's something to keep in mind. Very annoying. I wish they would change that. On a very similar note, whenever Devour is activated, it takes like a few little ticks, little microseconds there to actually, well, proc. And that includes when you pop the rift. So sometimes you'll pop the rift, hoping to get health back, and then you'll die, and you don't have the rift anymore, and you're like, well, I should have been at full health, and I just got 1 shot. With all that out of the way, though, it's Devour. So you're really only going to get as much use out of this as you do with normal Devour. Also, people aren't really used to using Empowering Rifts. So you got to kind of get used to that extra, I guess, proneness to death. But once you can, and once you adapt to that, and get used to maybe not having Ophidians on, it's a very powerful playstyle. kind of wrap things up, you're going to start discovering a lot of interesting interactions with your gunplay when using this build, especially with Child of the Old Gods, such as your 140 hand cannons being able to two-shot people to the head if you're in your Empowering Rift and they're debuffed from your Child of the Old Gods, for instance. There's really no shortage of this. Pair it with Tommy's Matchbook and you can keep chaining that Devour. People just don't expect you to always have Devour up, and it's very, very easy to have it up all the time. You'll have it up for minutes at a time, be chaining rifts without ever losing the Devour buff. It's kind of hard to show because your Devour just doesn't end. A lot of these clips you're seeing are from the same Devour chain, but they're just cut because there's just time in between where you have like 20 seconds to go find the next guy. If you don't believe me, look at this. This next set of kills are all in one chain of Devour. Not once do I ever even lose the buff.
When it's not?
Yeah, like, I kind of
Forget. Really?
Yeah.
I heard of an interesting loadout. Was it Hoarfrost or whatever, that chest piece?
Yeah.
The Titan one? With that, with Cerberus +1. Crystals really fast, and also,
Are we gonna wait for that?
Okay.
I mean, whatever.
Oh wait.
I would prefer to.
Were you paying attention to the game timer there? Almost 100 seconds straight of Devour. And then I could have kept it going if I didn't get that kill stolen at the end and I died. I just can't stress enough how much I want you to put these boots on your feet. Go try them. Even if they're not for you, just give them a shot for a few games. You can use any aspects and fragments you want, just keep Echo of Persistence on. Say it with me, Echo of Persistence. In the description of this video, I'm gonna have a full game. I think I get a rerun in it. It was just like the first game I threw these on for. There's no commentary, just gameplay if you want to check that out. If you want to see hookers getting into our cars, or us running around Hollywood just as Spider-Man, or surprising our friends with some chocolates and stuff after she finished her finals, whatever, you can check that out on the vlog channel. That'll be listed in the end screen. It'll be listed in the description as well. I put a lot of work into those, and it would mean a lot if you go check those out. There's a new one coming out very soon. I'm putting my finishing touches on it, and there'll be another one in a few weeks. Regardless, though, I hope you at least learned something from this today. I hope you could check them out. That's my dog walking around in the background, you hear? And I hope you have a fantastic day. I love you. Goodbye. This Titan was just emoting in a bubble, and then our teammate walked up, loaded his like charged Teraba, just walked into the bubble and melted.
God.